Now, you're going to pick one of the 6 aspects of the game, and it's dark, light, luck, restoration, utility, or weaponry. Those are the 6 rolls that you'll need to make, and those rolls are D20. And if you have a poor weapon, like I have a torch that I can hit people with, which is a poor weapon. If you look at the top of the game display, I got a little table here that says poor, success on a 12, durable on 4+. It's right in the center of the 2 maps. It's right next to the St Jon Citystate name. If you guys can find that, just zoom out. You know, there's no advantage of having too much detail. And then, so if you had a good weapon, you would have success on an 8 while using it, but its durability is a 9+, which means there's a good chance you're going to damage it by using it. And then a grade is a 5 and a 7. There's not going to be any real grades to start with. So I'm going to need you to roll percentile dice to start. If you're still hearing me, Conrad.
I am. I was doing some.
That's fine.
Maintenance. I thought. So Rusty's already done this. Okay.
Yeah, I got character sheets if you want to use that, or you can just use a piece of paper on the side.
It's easier just so I don't have to see on the. I don't have to switch around on the screen.
I agree with you totally.
23.
23. Okay. Well, first thing you have to decide is whether or not you're looking specifically for a dark magic item, a weaponry, a restoration. Most people would choose weaponry because it's probably the #1 roll you're going to make in the game.
Weaponry's fine.
Don't pick one that you've already gotten.
And
messed up.
You got a pretty good one. You got a warhammer, and probably something that your grandfather gave you. But unfortunately, that stops your rolls. So you start the game with a warhammer. It's a good weapon and poor utility.
Good weapon. All right. I got nothing but poor myself.
The table has a lot of poor. Okay, it's
I even rolled a 100.
It's 2/3. Yeah, he rolled a 100, and a 100 is not a good roll.
And it was a stinking flask of oil.
Whoa! That before you poo-poo that splash of oil, that has light magic on it of poor quality. I mean, just none of us have anything of light magic. So before you cast aspersions at being a holy man, you know,
I would think a natural 100 from Rusty would have given me a relic. Okay, you know,
no. Can't start the game with relic.
You're rolling either a 100 or a 1.
Yeah,
I rolled a.
It's you, Rusty.
Then I rolled a 3, and it didn't give me anything.
Yeah, so I have to put the bell curve in the wrong direction with you, Rusty, because you're all right. So as I have tested this a little bit, it does work. You do take a lot of damage. Now I'm going to open a character sheet and just look at it, but this is for you guys. You got 12 points to assign. Now, those 12 points, you're going to put them in as gear, HPs, global pips, and make rolls. So with 12 points, I picked 4 gear slots, which means I can carry 8 items. Whatever you have in gear slot doubles. Now, there are items that are more than 1 gear slot, and there are items that take less than a full gear slot. For instance, you might just have a magic penny, and that might not have any cost of gear slot at all. Your hit points, whatever you put in there, I put in 7. You multiply it by 3, and that's your hit points in the game. And whenever you fail a roll, you're going to take 1 hit point. If you fail a roll of restoration, you take 3 hit points. Now, when you come to global pips, there are 2 things you can do here. You can either say, I want +1 in every roll I make. I want +4 in every roll I make, and that's a huge advantage, although it does cut down on your gear and hit points. Or you can specify 1 point and say, I want +4 whenever I attack in my weaponry, and that's what I did. I put a big check mark on global pips. Now, you cannot make a mistake assigning these, and then the final number you can put in is make rolls. If you assign 12 points to make rolls, you have no gear slots, you have no hit points, you're not playing the game. These points, whatever your total is, put 12 as your total level hit points. I should say 12 as your total assigned points per session. Those can change every game session. So when we start next week, if you decide, wow, I did not need all those hit points, I'm going to take a little bit more gear slots, or I'm going to have more bonuses, you can move them all around. So Rusty, well, how many gear slots did you select out of your 12?
I did 4, 4, 4.
4, 4, 4. Okay. Now you went +4 on all your rolls, correct? Makes sense. You wouldn't.
Because the way I roll, everything's good.
All right. That gives you. May I suggest that you do 3 gear slots instead then, and some of the stuff that you have as gear, you can always pass it off to Conrad and I. But the reason for that is with 4 hit points times 3, you only have 12 hit points. If you miss 12 rolls in this game in the next 2 hours, you're going to die.
Yeah, well, but 15 is going to die too.
And so Conrad and I will divide that gear you have, because you have a lot of pieces of gear, which is really nice. I think you rolled 5 times, which is great.
Let's see. What did I do?
Because if he doesn't want to be holy man, Conrad, I'll be holy man with the oil. I'll anoint the wounded man.
I thought I only got 4.
Let me check. I'm looking back in the chat.
I got the flask. I got the wineskin. I got the torch.
You got a torch, a wineskin, a flask, and mallets. Did you count the mallets?
Yeah, mallet, flask oil, wineskin, torch.
Well, you only got 4. Okay, well, 4 and 4 slots. So you got 4 slots and you're carrying 4 objects. If we find something on the ground, well, I take that back, because you have 4 gear slots, so you can carry 8 items. Then that does not include all the silver you want to carry.
Yeah, no,
right.
I expect that I'm going to die, so. Yeah.
Well, I expect I'm going to die as well. I've already tested this character through a number of events, and I picked up a whole silver penny at the cost of 4 hit points. So I was relatively happy, but none of my gear declined, so I still have my weapon with me. All right, now that is our character building. I got Greg. We'll do it one more time with Greg. Yes. Greg, you with us?
Yes.
Okay. When you're ready, just say go.
Wait, okay, let's see. Hold on a second. Am I muted? No, you guys can hear me.
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you, Greg.
I seem to be ready to go. I'm looking at my character sheet. It says level 12.
Now that's 12 points to assign.
All right.
Okay. So the first thing we need you to do is you're going to pick an aspect. Let me see if I have that right in the post. Warhammer Rusty's Conrad Mika. Here it is. All right. So there are 6 roles in the game, Greg. As Rusty says, he's not going to make any of them. And they are dark magic, light magic, luck, restoration, utility, and weaponry. Notice that dexterity is not a role in this game. Everything is based on gear. Even if you decide just to jump over a dirty puddle filled with poisonous frogs, that is not a dexterity roll. That is, how do you do it? So do you pole vault it with a pole? Do you use rope to shuttle yourself across? Do you have your special boots on, etc.? But so pick one of those 6, and then you're going to roll on the gear table until you obtain at least poor quality in that one aspect. Now, all of us picked weaponry because we didn't want to enter the game without a weapon.
Okay, and where is under global pips? I see there's the boxes for.
Yes. So if you expend one of your points on global pips, you can pick +4 in an individual item. I took my 1 point in global pip and instead bought +4 in weaponry.
So is there a place to write or type what we pick as far as like weaponry goes, or restoration or utility?
So I use the bio and info to drop mine in just so I can hold it on the sheet. So if piece of scratch paper, if that's easier for you. Otherwise, when I click on bio and info, I can see that I have a steel mirror of poor magic, and I have a torch, which is poor weapon and poor luck.
Okay. So
shall we roll your gear?
Seeing that you guys all chose weaponry, can I choose utility, or is that like a big mistake to start off a character with?
I don't think it's necessarily a big mistake. I don't have a single piece of utility. So if we reach a utility obstacle, I might take a point of damage getting past it. So the only reason why I said that everyone should maybe pick weaponry is that when we flip the actual deck for what we need to do on a random event, and I'm not talking about the specific events that I've written out, but on random events, you will either have to do with a heart, no special edition, a diamond, you'll have to make a luck roll, a club, you'll need to make a utility roll, and a spade, you'll need to make a weaponry roll. So 1/4 of random events will require a weapon tree, mostly as an option.
All right. Okay.
1/4 of rolls require utility as an option. So if you here's I would take Rusty's rule on this. Plan to lose your first character.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, if all of these slots for gear, HPs, global pips, and make rolls, the 4 that you get to pick, they can change every session. So next week you can go, wow, I did not need that many gear slots, or boy, I wish I had a +4 in all rolls like Rusty. So,
Okay.
which of the 6 aspects would you like to pick, Greg?
So I'll go with utility. Just for...
Okay, yeah. Give me percentile dice. You might roll a weapon before you roll the utility, which is good.
Hold on just a second. Let's percentile dice. Here we go. Okay, an 8.
An 8. All right, you picked up garlic,
Garlic, yes.
which is poor light magic. If you're if you're reading along with me, I'm posting in the chat anyway. So
Right. So and we're writing that on our
I'm just putting it under bios so that I can,
Yeah.
because if it disappears, I can then also just go in, edit bio, and get rid of it. But if we get enough gear, a scratch pad may work the best for all of us. And you get to roll again, Greg, because you do not have anything of utility here.
Okay. 67.
I take it you're playing along at home. You might be able to scroll there before me. You have a steel mirror.
Steel mirror.
You have poor dark magic. Greg's got loot. It's probably why nothing in wine sod actually works, because everyone is worried about taking the little things everyone else has. And roll again, please.
81.
81. You got a wine skin. Gosh, you and Rusty rolled almost the. But you picked up another category, which is great. You have wineskin of poor restoration. And roll again, please.
Hey,
Keep going. Keep going.
37. Cleric mace. Good. Actually.
And you have a good weapon and a poor light magic with that as well.
Good weapon.
You have a number of things.
Okay. Do I keep on rolling until I get a utility thing? Is that what the deal is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then that's good. 96. Looks like a flask of oil. There's utility. So
There's your utility. And it's
But I
light
think
magic.
You got the record there with 5 items and one of them good.
One of them good.
5. All right. Well, that's good.
Okay. So this is the gear we start with. We do not start with any silver, although I played this a little bit earlier today, and I picked up a silver piece, but my starting hit points went from 21 to 17. But now that we got a group, I hopefully am not going to have to make every roll that comes down the pike. Now, so Greg, you're going to pick your 12 numbers, and you're going to pick how many gear slots are you going to pick? You're going to need at least, I think, 3 in order to carry the 5 things you have.
Yeah. So 3. And that'll give me 6 gear slots, basically.
That is correct.
Okay. Then we'll do 4 hit points for 12. Maybe
I did 7.
Okay. Maybe we'll go 6.
Okay. 6 would be 18.
And that gives me 3 more global.
For your die.
Let's do 4 gear slots for 8 there. I mean, do we pick up gear along the way?
Yes.
Okay, well then we'll do 4 gear slots instead. 6 and then 2 of the global pips. And I could say give me a +4 in weaponry and light magic, seeing that I have a bunch of stuff for light magic. Is that,
yeah, that'd be great.
Reasonable?
Yeah.
All right.
I appoint you leader. You
He's
just seem like you.
got the fancy mace.
He just looks like he's ready here. You know, I did the best I could.
When you die, that fancy lace is probably going to be mine.
I tore that mirror off the back of the whorehouse that I sleep next to, and so
Because your next character, Greg, I'm sure he's going to want my torch instead of that mace.
So that's part of it, right? When characters die, the rest of the party loots the bodies. So
yeah, we would have to.
Yeah, no, we used to just nicely give it to the replacement character, but not that mace. I don't think. So I think you really want the torch. I have a weapon.
Okay, so now is everyone carrying and has the capacity to carry all the items that they generated when they initially generated characters? If that answer is a yes, we'll get started. If that answer is a no, please tell me what items are in the pot, and I can pick up a number of them. I have 8 slots, of which I'm only using 2. And Conrad, did you roll just one item or not?
Yeah, I rolled 1 item.
Yeah, so Conrad with his gear slot, he's raring to go.
You can have my torch, Conrad, when I pick up the mace from Greg.
Hey, yeah, we're gonna obviously have to wrestle for that torch because I already got a torch, and having 2 makes me a king of the burrow here. All right, we'll start now.
In the land of the one-eyed king, a blind man has got a torch or something, right?
Yes, I think you're right about that, and I also have a timer going, so every 30 minutes or so, my wife is saying I got to get outside and take an eye break. I'm sitting and playing like this. I don't have any problems, luckily, but it comes on suddenly. So
there's a setting in the game which tells you that that obviously they're seeing it that you can turn the shake off.
Yeah, I
it's
already
probably
did.
on by yeah. Okay, so
I always do that. Yeah.
That thing's got all sorts of things moving around on the screen, and you don't need to see any of it.
I could play in a flat 2D, side scroller.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily blame Hero Wars for everything that's going on. I just think this is, again, I could have had a stroke that only affected a small part of my motor skills, and they did not detect it. I'm ambivalent. I would love to find out what's going on, but as long as I got these anti-dizzy pills, I'm sort of good.
We used to dream about it when we were in college, that playing Space Invaders, right? That you'd have an epileptic shock because we were stupid then, right? And we didn't know the epileptic fit would have really been a bad thing to get.
Yeah, you don't ever really want to be sick. It's not the dying; it's the leading up to it. All right, so in the middle of the screen, Greg, next to St. Jon Citystate, I'm going to ping it several times here, is a sort of just a key on success on 11s for poors, success on 8s for goods, success on 5s are great. Rolls of 1s are always fails, no matter how many pips you add. Plus, you'll add your global pips or you'll add your individual +4 to those rolls. Okay. And then whenever you fail a roll, and that's sort of at the end of the event after we're taking an assessment, then you'll roll durability if there was a fail involved. In the case of weaponry is the only aspect of the game of those 6 that you have to roll until you actually make successfully. But you do not roll your durability after every failed roll of weaponry. But if you failed a roll of weaponry trying to get that 1 success in the round, if we're fighting, 15 hellhounds, then you'll have to make a roll of durability to see if the item you're carrying declines. If a poor item declines, it's broken and gone. In the case of a dual item, like I have a torch, just like Rusty Brothers, and my torch is poor weaponry and poor luck. If I rolled and failed my luck roll, and then I failed the durability roll on that, the torch for me would only be for weapon. I would lose the luck aspect. Okay. So weapons, gear is going to come and go. That's the bottom line there. All right. Now,
how does the character stats figure into this?
There are no character stats.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said roll 5d20. Was that I just misunderstood you?
Yeah, maybe. When you roll a d20 for success, and if for instance, if weaponry, you have to roll until success. If I were to roll 5d20, that's probably where the 5d20 came in. And I missed 4 times before I'm successful.
Okay.
I only test durability once.
So I
did
rolled
take
5
4 points of damage for missing 4 times.
I rolled 5 times and assigned stats to them, and I got 2 for luck and 2 for weaponry. So the good news is that's meaningless.
Yeah, don't do that. So let's go back, and Conrad, why don't you take 12 points?
I did. I got the 12 points, and then what I did was I added, as a separate item, right?
You added the essential of like 10 or 12 or 20 levels of advancement that you don't have.
Yeah. Well, and I thought the stats would modify that, but this works better because I was worried about my luck and weaponry, because figuring I'd have to use them. Now I don't have to use them.
Yes.
Right.
The only time you have to use them is when
those just got reset to 0, right? Which is good.
Yeah. When we're forced to make a roll, if we're forced to make a roll, then for instance, if I have to make a roll of restoration, I don't make the roll of restoration because I don't have a restoration object. Rusty could be so kind to give me a sip of his wine skin, but it could be the last sip I take, which means I could exhaust his wine skin, sadly. Now, each of the aspects has a special flair when rolling. I'll post those in the chat, and we'll go through them. So, for instance, dark magic. If you ever fail a roll of dark magic in a session, you no longer can make dark magic rolls. Every time you're faced with a dark magic challenge individually, you'll fail and take a hit point. If I, for instance, had a great skull of dark magic and I fail with it, I might want to pass that off to somebody else, and they'll become the new sorcerer supreme for the rest of the session. Give it back, please. Rather than me miss repeatedly. Light magic, every time, it's the only positive one. Anytime anyone's allowed to make a light magic, you can't just, I went back and forth on this. Anytime somebody makes a light magic roll, they can heal back a hit point of anyone. And luck, whether or not that light magic was used to pass an event or simply just, Rusty's down to his final hit points, let's make some light magic. Luck rolls. If you fail a luck roll, it's going to add a def mod for the next D4 events, and the penalties may stack. So if Conrad fails a luck roll, we're at -1 for the next D4 events or D4 obstacles in an underworld. And restoration, whenever you fail that, instead of 1 point, you take 3. Utility, if you fail a utility roll, the durability of the item you're using automatically declines. So a lot of durability, I should say, a lot of utility items are going to come and go quickly. And because this is sort of a D&D gear game. And that timer is telling me we're going to take a break after I describe the last one here. It's weaponry. Quite often roll until success, and there are many ways of mitigating this within the event. Now, I will say one more thing before I'll take a brief 1-minute break. I'm not going to push it too much. I just need to get away from the screen. If you go over a bit and you can see this city surface map, nice little town map that I generated from an online website. And then below that, there's a cave map, and to the side, there's a dungeon map. I'm going to try to only use those 3 maps for all of my detailed adventures. And it might say you start at M, and the goal is to get anywhere off of this map, like at a V or then an O, and then the players would choose which direction they go. And I may either have a specific challenge listed for S, or we'll flip a card for it. Same way in the city. In order to move around the city, it takes a D4 events to move from the Owl and Hawk Inn over to any other place in the city. Now, when I say any other place, there's some big caveats on that, but we won't see it for adventure. All right, I'm going to be offline for about 1 minute, and I will see you then. Okay. Should have been doing this as old men anyway.
We can run commercials during the 1-minute break.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so
unfortunately, we don't get the political ads because they spent them already.
That first big aspect we we chose, where you guys chose weaponry, I chose utility. Does that do anything other than determine our starting equipment? Or does it like give us a plus or something?
It doesn't determine anything other than when you stop rolling for gear.
Okay, right.
It guarantees you that particular item type, but it doesn't. All it does is, at least so far, all it does is say when you're done rolling.
All right. So the part that I'm confused on then was he said, when we were rolling, we add the pluses we get for those like global pips, the +4, and then he said plus our personal bonus. What is our personal bonus?
Which is that?
Personal bonus is the global pips.
Oh, that is the global pips.
That's the global pips. He didn't say global pips. That's the bonus.
Okay.
All right, I am back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the dead.
And I think that nobody picked as part of their 12 make rolls, right?
No, well, 12 make rolls means you're dead because you have no more hit points. So
no, I'm just saying
11 make rolls.
But none of us picked any make rolls.
No, I did not pick any make rolls. There may be a time where you want to take a lot of make rolls, especially if we end a session and then start right in the middle of an underworld and you think, wow, there's maybe only 4 rooms left. I may only make 5 rolls in the next 30 minutes if I stall. But, okay, again, you can change your stats, the 12 points we start with, every session. So if I decide that there's not enough combat, I'm going to drop that 1 pip for weaponry. I may put it into hit points instead. So let's start with just a generic thing.
And the session is what? 1 day of actual.
Yep. Every Sunday is a session. Yep.
Every Sunday's a session. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so, just to make sure everyone understands again, we are the Unclean. We are moving about St. Jon Citystate map, and that's going to create a D4 events. And between each set of events, we might learn a rumor or two. And some events have quests that cannot be started without prerequisites. Others you can start them immediately. And we are just thieves, I guess, would be the generic term for it all. And this is more of a riddle, whodunit type of game. We're going to try to. Since we're not going to spend all of the armor class and hit points for damage on most of the encounters, a lot of the monsters will seem like we should not face them. I don't think I've added a dragon yet, although maybe I should. But you will have all sorts of demonic figures. Let me put us right in the middle of Winesot. That's where we start. And I will start Rusty. Rusty, did you want to move toward the Survivors Monastery, the Blue Bayou, the Great Oak, the Owl and Hawk Inn, the Doe Gate, the Clan Hall, or the Gift Wall? I think would be the 7 that you can move toward pretty easily.
Not the monastery?
Yeah, that's one of the 7. Yeah, I started with that.
Let's go to the monastery so that Greg can use his mace on the local.
Well, that would be sad, but I could heal 3 hit points or 4. I should say my 4 hit points lost maybe there. And so we're going to head toward the monastery. Roll me a D4, Rusty. How many events are we going to have here before we get there?
I rolled a 1, believably.
Very easily. Okay, so here comes the first event. I am in the dead center of this play table where I'm flipping these cards. If you pan around, you will see them in just a second.
Ace of Diamonds is what I'm seeing.
Ace of Diamonds and a maze. Okay, so as we go toward the Survivor Monastery, they are constantly rebuilding the interior of this to make room for more people, or to as different clans go in and out of favor, they'll break up the whole city and street structure. So we have gotten lost in a way. Now, the Ace of Diamonds tells me that Ace is, in order to become unlost, somebody is going to have to make a single roll of luck or magic. And because it's a diamond, we add the addition of luck to the roll. So because it's luck and light magic, and because it's a diamond, it forces the luck. We have to make a luck and a light magic roll to get past the maze. And when we do, we are rewarded by finding gear. I hate to think that somebody starved to death during this maze route, but more than likely we just took some of the items that the people who are rebuilding the streets had left aside. So who would like to make a luck roll and who would like to make a light magic roll? I can make a luck roll at a poor level and with no modifier, and I cannot make a light magic roll, but if you just tell me make it, I can take the hit point instead.
I can make a light magic roll, and I have +4 to the roll, I believe.
Okay. Well, Greg, you're up. Let's see if that light magic roll. Now tell me, Greg, in a way, what do you do to get through the maze? What sort of light magic do you apply?
I'm looking at.
You have a flask of oil, I think, for light magic.
I do have a flask of oil, so I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
I could use that simply to it's just a light and oil lantern to light our way as we go.
Okay, and the magic aspect of it is what is was the flame a little fire demon or a fire imp, or was the flame a little spirit like pixie dust?
Yeah, a little guiding spirit that's going to a little
perfect
little fairy light that's going to lead our way through the maze.
And this is a poor roll, so you're going to need an 11, and you're +4 in the dice. Give me that roll of d20 +4.
Nice.
You made it. Now we also need a luck roll. Now I can make a luck roll. It's poor with a torch, and I have no modifier with it. Anyone else?
I have torch with a 4.
Torch and your +4 modifier. Well, Rusty, I defer to you. I'm just the guy in the back holding the gear. Give me a roll +4, 11 +4.
Okay, so this is a d20 roll.
It is.
The first fail.
Okay, now this roll is not a roll until success, but you do take a point of damage, Rusty. I will help you kibitz here. If you're going to light that torch, you may not want to put it against your body before you light that torch. It was probably sundown, getting dark. Rusty tries to light a torch, ends up lighting his arm on fire. Take a point of damage, and we will let Conrad roll percentile dice for the reward of the gear.
42.
And then the fight starts.
42.
4 and 2. Lodestone, poor dark magic. I am tempted to say, Conrad, why don't you just put that in your pocket? You don't have a dark magic item now anyway, do you?
No, but I am. But I did take dark magic as my specialty, so it's a lodestone.
Perfect.
Well, when you picked a specialty, meaning that you
global pips. I'm sorry.
Yes, terrific. You took one global pip and dropped one into dark magic. Nice.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Conrad picked up a lodestone. We make it to the Survivor Monastery.
And that's poor dark magic, right?
Yes. And when I read the Survivor Monastery, you find that John C. He heads an order. It's not really any sort of specific order. He doesn't have any sort of known deity, from myth or legend. He just believes in sort of a peaceful creed, and he can provide succor and heal back a d4 times a d4 in damage per visit. So he can heal a total of 1 times 2 is 2 points of damage. Rusty, are you going to take 1 and I'll take 1? Since we're the only 2 wounded?
I guess so. Let's see. So when the flask of oil was used as light magic, somebody got to heal something, right?
Point. That is correct. So when you make a light magic roll, somebody heals 1 back. So that would give me 1 more to me, Rusty. And then you are fully healed.
And for the fail, did we roll a durability on the fail?
We do roll fail on durability. Did we roll for Rusty's durability for his torch?
We did not. It's for my luck on the torch.
Okay,
you can thank me later for reminding him, Rusty.
I was going to remind him anyway.
It's anything but a 20, Rusty. Anything but a 1, Rusty, because you are +4 to your dice and pips.
Right. Okay. Well, I can roll 1.
You can. We've seen it.
Badly. Woohoo!
Okay, the torch is still fully functioning, even though we had to teach him. He must be just a little bit higher born than us and not used to actually being out in the streets after dark. That's what I'm contending here. And so John C has come forward, sort of laid hands on us, removed a little bit of our hit points, and we can actually bring him anyone injured here as well. He says he does not raise the dead. He used to raise the dead, but he felt like that was making him evil. Now we can actually raise the dead ourselves. If we decide somebody is important enough to save, that we don't want them to roll a new character and pick up lots of new gear. If they have maybe a few points that they've got extra from adventuring, all party members may make a light magic and a restoration roll. That's 2 rolls each to return a dead character to half his starting HPs. The walking wounded.
All of us have to roll it, but not all of us have to make it. Is that correct?
Yeah, by missing, we take damage ourselves. And the walking wounded character has a gear slots reduced by a D4, not below 1. Could be a time to flee or delay the adventure further if we decide. But we can always resurrect somebody on the spot if we all decide to make that light magic and restoration roll.
Now the reduction in slots permanent?
No. It's every session you start over fresh.
Okay, great.
Fresh hit points, fresh healing. I mean, fresh. The only thing that reduces, I take it back. The only thing that reduces is if you've taken hit point losses in the previous day that have not been healed yet. And why not? We're going to make light magic rolls. We're going to make return to the monastery occasionally. But if we have any sort of hit points carried over, those hit point damage carried over need to be applied to the characters in the session. And otherwise, I never would kill anyone, and that's no fun. And at John,
what he's saying, Rusty, is death is no escape. Should you die,
you got to
continue.
You back.
We'll bring you back.
Bring me back, okay.
With reduced, because we know what you're going to roll on the next one.
I know.
Now, John C. says there's a fire cult somewhere in the city that's thriving, and he's not a big proponent of anyone sort of focusing their magic on any sort of icon or a talisman, because that too could become corrupting. If we destroy the evil of the fire cult, he'll pay us 100 silver. Now, that's a long-term long-term quest. It's probably impossible for us to kill the fire cult now, but it's something that we want to think about. Typical D&D-isms. Impossible to reach. Okay, but he will pay us 10 silver pennies to anyone who can enter the Bastille and bring out the pyramid scroll for him to study. Oh gosh, Rusty had to pick the monastery as our starting quest. May I suggest we wander the city a bit? Okay.
Hey, but that's good because we found out some place we can heal and we can bring back Greg and he can keep his mace then. So we don't want to ever do that. But anyway, so yeah.
Poor Greg with his good mace. You know, he's got that deadly sin of covetous that we need to work on. But he will pay us 10 silver pennies to anyone who can enter the Bastille. That's all the way over here. Wow. So we could try to enter it from Winesaught and bring out a pyramid scroll for him to study. Now, so we have 2 quests possibly that we can undertake. You do not have any sort of quest limit. Just things to note. And I'm going to move the big die over to Conrad. And Conrad, we have set the precedence that you'll pick the direction we go and how many events we're going to have. But the rewards along the way may go to somebody else. Let's where would you like to go to next? Now, you can go right to the Bastille with 4 rolls, and we can enter the Bastille. And, that's a bad quest. It's a harder quest, I think, to enter the Bastille, but we can always run away. Running away is a hallmark of good gaming. Where would you like to go, and how many events are we going to get before we get there?
So I would like to do the dough gate, assuming that the dough is bread. Because I'm getting a little
spelled like dough.
Peckish. I'm getting a little peckish. You know, food is important.
Sure.
So I'm head that way. And do I roll a die 4 or do I pick the number of
die
events?
4. Yeah, die 4.
Okay. And I roll a 4.
4. Okay. I got 4 right here in front of me, and let's flip cards for the first one. And the cards are simply just a way of me simplifying my weekly effort when you get into the detail quest, you'll see that I have added a little bit more.
King of clubs.
King of
Travails
clubs.
dead end.
Okay, so we have a dead end. Now, whatever we test in gear with the King of clubs, because of the Travail's dead end, we're going to have to test its durability on. So the King of clubs would mean that we're going to have to make a test, and it is a single roll of all. So that means all of us have to make a roll of weaponry or utility. And because we rolled a club, it is an obstacle of some nature, or a test of utility, which means all of us, thank you, Conrad, with that king, bad card, now that we know, are going to have to make a weaponry roll and a utility roll. Now, the way
it says
this
or
looks,
there. It says or on your text.
Yes, but because it's a club, it adds a utility roll we need to make, which means that we get the utility roll, and then we have to always make the opposite one when it forces us to make a roll. Thank you for clarifying that, but we still, each of us have to make a weaponry roll and a utility. Now, the weaponry is roll until success, and the utility is a single. But let me just preface this by saying that maze that we entered, we tried to sort of go back and follow the path we had, but then a rival clan, some of Solitaire's men, we can recognize them probably by their, well-shined shoes. And I don't want to mention too much, or Conrad will be grabbing the shoes and shoelaces from everyone that we meet. When you say the goblins attacked you with a pointed stick, suddenly the pointed stick becomes part of the party. So it's we have some of Solitaire's men, dirty feet and all.
Shoes are nice.
Shoes are
dirty,
nice.
Dirty feet.
Dirty feet.
God,
I'm gonna wear a man's dirty
thing.
feet if
they
I
wear
have
nothing.
To.
They wear a raggedy loincloth.
Yeah,
soaked in bovine urine.
Because they really want that shiny mace of Greg's, and we need to defeat those guys that are in our way, and that is the Travail's dead end.
Not a fancy belt among the bunch.
And I'm going to start with Conrad's roll. Now, Conrad, you need to make a weaponry until you're successful in a utility roll. Now, before you make that utility roll, you have to have an object of utility, and I don't think you have one, right?
I have the Warhammer, which is poor utility.
Interesting. Okay, so you could use it, and I'm going to throw out some suggestions just to cue your imagination. Perhaps there are structural points in the walls that you could collapse.
Yeah, breach the wall. Right.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah. So
leverage.
Yeah, leverage.
So rolling a die 20. Now I don't have any odds for utility, so it's straight up.
Yep.
And I rolled a 13, which is was it a poor roll by chance?
It is actually you had a poor utility with your hammer, a good attack but poor utility. A 13 is a successful roll though. That's good. All right.
Okay.
Now with utility, whenever you make a roll of utility, something on your possession has to decline in ability, which could mean that you just decline your hammer from good to poor. It starts off with, or you could take another item if you have one, or another item on another player, and something in the party has to decline when we make that utility roll. And that is a global thing. So something in our we have to.
I have a mallet in stakes, which is poor utility.
Well, but let's get a clarification here. Do we have to make 8 rolls of this stuff?
So we each have to make a roll of weaponry.
So we're gonna have 4 utility rolls.
Yes, we're gonna have 4 utility rolls, but it won't decrease 4 things. It just means that if you have to make a utility roll in, let's say, the round of players' rolls, you follow that, to resolve the event, then the utility is going to drop. This is another thing that happens at the end of the event, so to speak, Conrad.
At the event,
so one item. One poor item gets trashed whenever we have to make a utility roll to explain that. All right, let's go to your weaponry roll, Conrad. You need to make a good, right? On an 8.
I have a good, and I am +4 with my weapon. So.
Okay.
And I rolled a 12, which is a success.
So you are success in success. You took no damage, and again, one item. Now the card itself also says we need to test durable. So one item at the very end we have to test durable on, and whenever you make a utility on, does it test durable or does it mean that one item declines? Let me double check that. I think it's just a test, isn't it? Whenever we make a utility roll, I'm looking at my rolls. Utility, fail and auto decline. Oh, fail and auto decline. This or something else. So we did not fail the utility roll, Conrad. My mistake. Now
Okay.
go over to Greg. Greg, you need to make a weaponry roll and a utility roll.
And if he fails, then he has to roll to see if he rolls durability. Well, he's got to roll. I'm sorry. If he fails, he automatically declines. He doesn't have to make the roll, right?
Yeah, a fail is an auto decline. In my case, I'm going to probably lose my torch, or I'm going to probably lose my mirror. Something on me has to decline because I don't have anything of utility, and I'm on automatically.
Just hit the wall here, guys. Just hit the wall right here. Just right here.
Hit the wall right here. It's going to fall on.
See this brick? Hit this. It couldn't be any easier. Just hit it right there.
And Greg.
Okay, so I have the mace for good. So let me scroll up here a little bit so I can see the good is a success on an 8+.
That is correct.
And so this is weaponry. I don't have do I have a plus on the weaponry? What did I take my pluses in? We got weaponry +4. Yes. So I need a 4 or better, it looks like.
4 or better, 29.
Woohoo!
14. Okay, so I made the weaponry roll. Now I need a utility. I have the flask of oil, which is poor utility. I need that.
So you need 11.
11 or better. I don't have a plus on utility because I took light magic, right? Yes. So I just need an 11. Let's see. A 3.
3 is
so
a
that
fail.
fails.
Okay, so so you have to auto decline one object.
And does it.
How many objects do you have, Greg?
I have 5.
You have 5. If you have something that you don't think in narrative play you're going to use as often as something else, you can decline it instead. But anything you decline, now just to caveat this a little bit more, if you declined your good property mace to poor quality mace, we can pay to fix that, but it's expensive. Where if we just get some money somehow, we can buy 5 or 6 soak off utility items that we can also carry with us. So tough choice.
I have this garlic that's poor light magic, and I have 2 other items that are also light magic. So probably
your garlic looks like it fell in the mud and got smashed under the guy's boots. Oh, did we say boots? No, under his barely fitting shoes.
Don't say boots.
Don't
socks.
say boots. We'll all be wearing boots.
Because the socks are poor quality. We can use them as a soak off.
Even maybe they have shod feet, under their horseshoes. But
we can bang the horseshoes off their feet.
It's metal, man. We can take their eyeballs and sell them in the market. No, okay.
Bones. So we can turn their bones and shin bone into a glove.
It's a poor weapon, isn't it? Okay. So
take their skin and turn it into a nice
reason.
vest.
I'm going to go over to my character now. Now, weapon, I have my torch, and it's poor. I need an 11, but I'm +4 with the dice here. So I'm hitting it with my weapon. And no, my torch, I have failed my torch roll, which means I take a point of damage. So I'm now at 18.
And that was utility, so something declines, right?
And, no, that was the weapon.
That was his weapon.
Okay.
And that was his weapon.
And I have to roll durability on it, right?
I would have to roll durability on it. I have a steel mirror, which is poor dark magic, and my torch is poor weaponry and luck. So I do not have a utility item. So I'm going to miss the utility roll and take a point of damage, and then I have to auto decline something. So I am going to. What I have to actually auto decline. Let me roll my torch durability. I need to roll a 4 or better on durability.
No, you're +4, right, Red?
Not on durability.
Okay.
I mean, because wait a second. You're right. I am +4 in weaponry. So yeah, I only on a 1 would I actually make my
So you've declined 1 item because you couldn't make the utility roll.
Correct. So we lost 1 item because I cannot make a utility roll. And Rusty, are you volunteering something, or am I losing my?
I said I could let you carry the mallet because I already have a utility, which is the flask of oil.
Okay.
The mallet and stakes. So if you want to roll
so that I would have a roll rather than lose the roll.
Yes.
Yeah, give me an 11 plus here. Thank you, Rusty. And a 15, I made it. So let me backtrack here. I think I did not take 1 point of damage, and I did not have anything auto decline. Over to you, Rusty. Thank you.
You failed on your weapon roll, Red, so you took a point for that, right?
I did, but I made the durability on it.
Right,
so.
correct. So you've lost 1 point.
We're all learning as we go along here.
My weapon is a torch.
Okay. You it's a poor item, but you're +4 because you took 4 pips. Go ahead, Rusty.
And I failed.
Jesus, Rusty, please. Come on, we're just starting out, man. You're carrying gear that
now he has to roll a 4 on durability.
On durability.
Yes,
roll 20.
Can you reverse those rolls occasionally? All right. So you're once again you're showing you're the little Nancy boy that we're bringing along who can't even
He's
swing
the
a
albatross.
fork.
He's the albatross.
They're underneath bricks, for God's sake. We dropped
Just
the wall.
hit the brick here.
I took my
Just
mallet,
hit the brick here.
threw it over to Red, and prior to that, I should have instead put some stakes in the ground to trip up these bad guys.
Yes, you should have. But what you did was you threw the mallet stakes at me, and I'm sitting there, trying to pick them all up off the ground. Go ahead, Rusty. Now you're going to make your
now I do my
roll.
flask of oil for a utility roll.
All right,
here I'm going to. I was going to use my torch to light up the my oil and some of the oil from Greg to torch these guys. We'll see if I succeed, because I already.
You need an 11.
There we go.
Oh gosh, he's really good at burning helpless.
It's like an adventure.
Helpless. They're attacking us.
Yes, no,
Rusty,
that was well done.
We were gonna skin those guys to make some nice socks.
Now,
yeah, well, if that's out the window. What we need is some shoes, Conrad.
Yes, what we need some shoes. If we only had some shoes. Now, we have to test one item of durability. Now, because the card says test durable as our final action. So we have to pick one item and test the durability of it. Did we throw away the garlic? Greg already lost his garlic because of the missed roll. Was that correct?
Right.
Or? Yes. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, because of the utility.
You tell us how many. So every time you miss, you have to roll durability. Is that correct?
When rolling against
Correct.
utility.
Yes.
Okay.
A utility item, but not necessarily for the other items. You have to look at what the roll says.
I can do the flask of oil looking not for a 1 on durability again.
Okay, test your flask of oil. Is that a double item of useful? Do you have any single item of useful?
Well, do I lose both? I thought I just lost the one characteristic on the.
You do. You're right. You're calling it correctly, Rusty. Go ahead.
So that's why I use a double item.
The other thing, just to throw this out, is that whenever we do light magic successfully, somebody well, this wouldn't be doing light magic. This is testing durability. Go ahead, Rusty. Test your durability, please, on your item.
Close, but I still made it.
You still made it. Okay, well, we got through our first encounter. Luckily, we survived. Unluckily, there was no treasure listed in the card flip.
We didn't get any shoes?
No
There's
shoes.
Teeth on these guys. They got teeth.
Yeah, but we just mallet them out, and then we have teeth dust.
We have to roll.
We have to roll
to get them out.
The card play is the card play. We did not get.
How about some hair, so it's easier for me to keep my torch lit? Hair out of their heads.
Yeah, you play with engineers, you get engineer answers.
Take the bile out of them. So the bile would be something you throw at people.
Or dark.
Bile doesn't light up my torch.
Once we get, I'll probably do some mods to this game as we play it, and there'll be a little bit more treasure. But right now, we just know that we were attacked by guys that we successfully passed. We're on our way to and we have 3 more encounters left. Let me flip the next encounter before we get to Doughgate.
Yeah, thanks, Conrad, for that 4. I forgot to mention that. Yeah,
oh, look at that. Something came up from the street.
That's good. It's a good thing from the street.
It comes from the street. Poisonous monsters.
Yes. So there were several of these brick paving stones turned out to be more like a mimic. They're just, sadly, they're all around the city. Now, I'm sure Greg, when I say the word mimic, thinks, "Oh my God, how many dice is that?" No, it's all just easy stuff. So it's weaponry -2 to beat these. Now I flipped a queen. The queen is
masonry that had mimics instead. Who cheated on the bricks?
what we want to correct. Yeah. Well, they probably dissolve the brick themselves and replace just to eat somebody's. If we had more shoes in this city, people would not be
banging on
their feet.
Banging on the brick, summon them.
Banging on the brick, summon. Queen of
banging on the brick, summon them.
Requires weaponry and magic. Now, because it's a heart, there's no additional roll, so we have to make either a weaponry roll or a magic, and it's a single roll. Whenever you get those face cards, it's not group, it's not single at random. It's somebody has to make that roll. We all do. So let's start with Conrad again. Conrad, would you please make either a weaponry or any magic roll? And if you have a light magic to make here, it means if we're successful, we also gain a hit point back for what it's worth.
I do not have a light magic item to roll. I do have a good weapon, and I am +4 with weaponry, so I am going to roll a good success on it.
Maybe Greg, who has 2 light magic things, would lend you one.
Yeah. Greg, are you willing to give up your items, or you're holding on to them for the moment?
You mean like you want me to share?
Share? We don't
staging them.
Share? Who is this aristocratic guy?
We're staging them on people so they
Conrad's
can make the rolls.
got a good roll on weaponry. Take that first, Conrad. Now it's -2.
Okay, so it's an 8 minus 2 is a 10, but I'm +4, so it's a 6. I need a 6 or better.
Okay.
And I rolled got the wrong screen up. A 19.
You made your
roll. That was a rusty 19. I rolled a 12. I'm sorry.
And you are successful. Then I go over to Greg Squires. Greg, you need to make a light magic, a dark magic, or a weaponry roll.
Does anybody else have a bonus in dark magic I can hand a steel mirror over?
I do
not. I have.
I do.
Conrad has it, but he's already got a dark magic.
I
can do dark magic. I can do a +4 on anything.
And that alarm says we're going to take another 1-minute break while we suss this out. I'll get through the combat round here before we actually take our break. Greg, don't worry about passing the items for the moment. Did you want to make a weaponry roll? Or
I'm going to make a weaponry. That's my best chance. I have a good weapon. I need an 8. I have +4. So
and it's
18.
down 2 for this beast.
Oh, well,
and you're smashing the mimics on the ground. Apparently, we have seen them before. And mine is a roll of an 11, but I'm +4 -2 is I need a 9 or better with my torch, and I've missed. So I have to roll the durability, which is a 4 or better, but for me it'd be anything but a 20. And I've made my durability.
A 1, anything but a 1, right?
But yes, correct. But I did take a point of damage, and I am at a total of 17. And Rusty, final roll for you against these mimics.
Weaponry, huh? Okay, got it.
A weaponry, but weaponry is -2.
Or light magic or dark magic, right?
Yes, so either light magic or dark magic if those are better for you. And the big die roll, 3 silver pennies. I think you each should take 1 silver penny for being successful. I should not take a silver penny because I'm unsuccessul, but I also have one. Now, with silver pennies, if we can find someone that will sell stuff, hint, hint, we found the guy that heals in our little area of Weinstadt. If we find the merchant, we can basically start buying things that are of good utility or weekly utility.
Like maybe the market square. Right.
So Red needs to step out for a moment, and then and Rusty,
1 minute,
by the
I'll
way,
be back.
If you could roll the light magic with those items, you could heal that point of damage that Red's got. So it says success and additionally heal and hit point.
Right.
Anyone, so.
Right now I'm at 17 hit points. I would not worry about it too much, Conrad. But if you guys want to make an additional roll of light magic, and it might be anything but a 20 for some people, but none of you have a great item. So it's still going to be a chance you're going to wound yourself with it as well, Conrad.
Well, if he has to roll anyway, right? So when he had his choice of what to roll, he should choose light magic.
It would have been better rather than picking a weapon to use a light magic.
Yeah. And then Red gets a point back, and then right.
And
the weapon, and you preserve your weapon.
So you're saying, but Rusty would then have to give me a blessing, and he's usually want to do that. Yes, no, I'll
or a shoot, one or the other.
I'll take my.
I'll take a point back. I have my flask of oil, which is the light magic.
I'll see you in a minute.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah,
good
like
point.
we wouldn't want to take. We don't want to use restoration items. When we have a choice, if we have a choice for something else, because should you fail that roll, you suffer 3 points of damage instead of the 1, right?
Right. Right.
And we wouldn't want to take the utility ones because if you fail the utility run, you auto decline the quality, right? So we want to take the light magic first and the weaponry second, right? But the weaponry, which he didn't do in this case, but it could be, is that we would have to roll until success. So you may have to roll multiple times, right?
Oh,
And of course,
right.
dark magic, should you fail, you can't use it anymore.
Yeah. So light magic would have been the best choice anyway.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Yep. And we did get a silver. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. We still got 2 more encounters just to get to, where were we going, to Bastille?
We were going to the dough gate.
Oh, the dough. Oh, for food.
For food, unless it's dough as in money, right? So we don't have
gate.
a whole.
Oh yeah, dough. Okay. Oh yeah, you have to go to the dough gate before you can get to the Bastille, it looks like. Okay, got it. And then the dough gate also gets us to the market square where we could buy things with our
all right.
our 1 silver. But we still got 2 more encounters to do before we get to the dough gate.
And we've actually taken 3 events. This is the 3rd event, and I should have been giving you some background on the city. We'll start with Rusty. Give me a number from 1 to 20. You can just choose it or roll it, Rusty, and I will give you some general information about the city that may lead to a quest.
14.
14. Okay. So you're talking to this sort of resident bum who maybe he was an adventurer, but just has sort of given up on life.
Who you call him resident?
And he says, "In my nightmares,
does he have shoes for Conrad?"
No shoes. We're not gonna roll the bum. He's one of us. In my nightmares, I see a demon. I've yet to learn or decipher the palindrome of his name. And 2 for you, Conrad. Give me anything but a 14, obviously.
1 and 2. Let's make it easy.
That's fine. 1 and 2 is good. And messing with the primal order of things. The stew in the inn is rat stew. Someone else will comment how one was caught in a spider web, and someone else will remark that spiders make wine sot unsafe at night. So let's not travel at night. Wait, we already did once. And the second thing is
we got to get meat for our stew.
So we get the spiders to get the meat for the stew, I guess, right? And then number 2 is a rather wealthy greengrocer is showing his paramour a whistle. He says something like, "Not to worry, this small trinket is my ace. It would be nearly impossible to steal since he values it so. Attacking him in such an open place would change the tenor of the play so much as to result in party wipe a dozen times over from revenge on your family and everything else. But you can accept the information." So we know something about rats and spiders and something about a whistle. And other than that, we have 2 more events before we reach the dough gate. And here comes the next flip of the card. These cards are going to kill us before we get anywhere. All right, we have another reward at least. 3. Hey, these guys got shoes, guys.
Woohoo! Proper shoes. Everybody's got shoes.
Okay.
They got proper shoes.
Proper shoes. Not these cheap flip-flops. A luck or light magic is required by the 3. Because it's a club, we have to add a utility obstacle. So we have luck, light magic, or utility. Those are or because we're adding the utility. So we have to make a utility roll. A luck, light magic, and utility roll. And it is piled treasure. So, and these are, because it's a 3, it is just 1 roll for the group, which is really nice. So who would like to make the utility roll? Let's get that out of the way.
I can make the utility roll.
Okay, what is your chance, Rusty?
It's per item, and so, but I have a +4. So
okay. And 11 plus 4.
Okay, so I made it with a 13.
You made the utility. And what was the item you used for utility in this
my
piled
flask of oil.
Flask of oil. How does a flask of oil help you get piled treasure, though?
But you see, you put it on the ground and you light it with my little torch, and it provides, we're at night, provides light for everybody to see.
That's to warm our feet, too.
Well done, Rusty. So the glint of the treasure that's been sort of hidden to the side, and you made your roll on that utility, so you found the big pile of treasure, and then we have to make either a luck or a light magic roll in order to pick it all up. Light or luck? Luck. I would like to make a light, a magic, or a luck.
I'm pretty good at light magic.
Okay, I would think that Greg making a light magic gets me a hit point back, so I'm always in favor of Greg rolling.
Okay, so I need an 11 plus 4 with my cleric mace. Seeing that Rusty just used a flask of oil, I don't want to use that again.
And how does your magic mace give us a? Does it talk to you whenever his gold is near because you're so poor?
Apparently, it doesn't. Yes, I believe that it did. But,
it did. But you didn't make the roll. But that doesn't mean that we didn't get the treasure. All that means is that
no. Let's see. Good plus. You said it's plus 4. You made the roll.
No, it's poor.
Well, wait a
second.
second.
Missed it by 1, or he missed it by 2.
He rolled a 5. He's plus 4 to the roll is a 9. Good is success on an 8.
Yeah.
Is it a good item, Greg, or a poor item?
Oh, wait a second.
Magic.
Good.
His magic in the mace is poor. His ability to bash with it is a good item, Rusty, but only poor.
Only poor with the mace only has poor magic.
It has good weaponry and poor magic.
Well, what kind of crappy mace? I don't want that mace anymore. Jeez.
You are stuck with your mace, and you're going to like it, young man.
I do. I can make shoes out of it.
Would you? I could beat down something and be a lot more comfortable than the sandal made of sawdust and gravel that I use.
Yes.
A bag of sawdust and gravel that I put over my feet.
I can
Greg,
unwrap
you didn't make the roll. I need you to roll a roll of a 1, or you've lost the magic from your mace.
I made that.
Okay, terrific. But you did take a point of damage, if you would mark that on your character sheet. But we picked up a D4 magic. D4 treasure. One silver piece. I'm just going to put that in my coffers. You guys can't stop me, and I'll hold it for the party. But we also pick up a reward of a gold XP. This is a really important roll. Everyone roll a D20 and see who rolls high die. I got a 13. That's the number to beat. A 12, a 2.
I don't want it.
Looks like I got a 16.
If you got a 16, Greg, then you are the guy that picked up tonight. Yes, I missed you. Forgive me, Greg.
You did.
Greg, you have picked up an XP, which means your count now in the game is 13. Every session you have 13 points to distribute. You may take that new point now to improve your hit points, to improve your gear slots, to improve your make rolls, etc.
I'll improve my global pips. So can I take a plus 4 in utility?
Yes, you can. You can just click another plus 4 if you wish. You have 3 of those plus 4s, correct?
Yeah. No, there's 3 of them.
So when we play next session, you probably want to turn that into maybe plus 3 for all of them.
Plus 4 for everything.
Yeah.
Or plus 3 for everything.
And that was we have one more event before we reach the Doe Gate, and we flipped a 2.
I'm sorry. Did I misunderstand when you said that? Was there one option that was plus 3 for everything?
Yes.
Well, so instead of spending 1 pip to get plus 4 in an individual item, Conrad, you can add global pips of 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that every roll you get plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. Or plus
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what Rusty did.
Yeah, Rusty did. There's a barrier ahead. Once again, we're back to the situation where they keep bricking up passageways that we normally use. And this is a 2 heart. Now, a 2 heart means that we have to make a single roll of luck or dark magic. But it's not a group roll. So somebody at random has to make a luck or dark magic to avoid damage from this encounter. And so I'm going to roll a d20 to see who has to take the damage here. I rolled a 3. If you guys beat me on a 3, I'm the one that's going to take the damage. I may make it a luck roll.
Why would you take a magic? We can roll it, right?
Yeah, dark magic. I have a dark magic.
Listen, you, Rusty.
It's a 3 so far. Rusty made it. Conrad made it. I'm the low roll, so I have to make a roll of dark magic, which is poor for me. I need an 11.
Dark magic or, wasn't it?
Well, dark magic or
luck.
And the luck roll, I don't think I have a luck. Let me look. Wait a second. Maybe the torch. Yeah, the torch gives me luck. But the torch is my weapon. But the torch is my weapon. Now I'm going to use my mirror. And what I did was I'm pretty stupid and vain. I was looking down at my mirror, and there is a phantom spirit in the mirror that sometimes warns me, but I just think it's, the buzzing of a flea in my ear. Let me see if I can listen to the flea this time. Nope. Oh! Take a point of damage from me. I'm still at.
And you can't use your dark magic again, right?
Correct. My dark magic is turned off.
And you need to roll durability on the item.
And I have to roll durability on the mirror.
It's a 4. So the mirror's still good.
The mirror's still good. I'm not listening to the little elf spirit inside the mirror talking to me. Yes, but that is the last encounter of this set, which is really nice. And with that encounter, we get to Doe Gate. And should we just go rumor 3 and make this easy on all of us? Sure. We won't have to worry about which ones, because later on it'll get more confusing. The griffin vapors slowly turn a thief's hand green. There does not seem to be any constables in Winesaught, but the clan chief Solitaire doesn't force his whims to maintain order, as we have seen. His unscrupulous people, shoeless bastards they are, have been running around and accosting good citizens of the street. Is that us? Are we good citizens of the street? Doe Gate. Okay, there's a pie shop here. It's near the gate. You can finally recall visiting the flower matron inside as a child and buying sweets. Now the place seems closed, unused. Overall, the site is named because a limited amount of flowers delivered through Doe Gate. Yet you inspect the gate, and it shows the hole is rusted solid. So how is the flower being delivered to the city? You can actually, I think I can post that. Another mystery.
Don't say smuggled in the shoes. Don't say smuggled in the shoes. Don't say smuggled in the shoes.
It's feet dough. We can explore if we want the area here. Or we can, you can exploit further the seemingly abandoned pie shop, or you can move to another objective. There is no pies to be bought in here, Conrad. So do you want to explore further? I'm giving you that option because you took us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's feet dough to be gotten here.
There is. Now, the pie shop was really boarded up on the windows, but it is relatively dust-free floor. That means that people have trafficked through it. Opening the door, unlocked, you hear a distant dog bark. You can go toward, or you can stay away from the distant dog bark.
We can look for a dog whistle. You know the whistles.
It's true. You did have a clue earlier. Good clue. Anyone wish to go toward? Well, we are adventurers. Why would we leave? Correct?
Of course, dogs are always going to be friendly, right?
Yeah, of course.
So following the barking, we can find stairs in the rear to a cellar. And we are going to use the dungeon map. So if you guys go right down your page over to the dungeon map, and we are going to enter at H with the party.
I'm sorry. We followed the dog and found a dungeon.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yes. We followed the dog and found an abandoned
Because when we die,
dungeon.
We're going to die. So it might as well have to be buried.
More and more I want to say it's the Gary. It's the Gary principle play. Give him some homage. And so we're going to enter down this stairwell here and go into area H. Completing this puzzle can award an XP. That's pretty good.
Woohoo!
And from H, let me read what H says. H, you face a single sentinel as a watchdog. It seems to be curled in sleep, so maybe it was yelping in sleep. We could attack with surprise or try to sneak past. This is where it's starting to get into detailed little look at the surroundings, check the corners, do all of that. For the most part, I'm going to assume that you guys are intelligent enough to do all the things you need to do on a letter. But for instance, if you're in room, let's pick room T, right on the map here toward the bottom. If you're exploring room T, I will tell you the things in room T, but I will not tell you what's in Y until you decide you want to investigate specifically that door in that corner at Y. If you follow the way of the mechanics I'm going to try to use. But at H, we have the guard dog. Do we want to surprise it and knock it out, since we want to maybe keep it a PG-13 type of show here? No, we'd bash it to death. And or do we want to sneak past?
I like dog meat. Sounds pretty good, for
Kill or be killed.
roasting.
Okay, we're gonna just rush forward and I'll take a swipe at it, right?
Yeah. Try to sneak
Okay.
past the guard
So
dog.
who is the first person that attacks? What is our sort of marching order here?
Somebody with a good weapon. That would be Conrad or
Ooh.
Greg.
So what you're saying is a good weapon is actually punishment.
No, I'm saying a good weapon is a better, easier roll.
See
Hey,
how this-
hey,
I see how
I'm-
this game works.
Conrad,
You
I will
don't-
vote
you
with
don't
you.
want
I
me
am a
rolling, do
torchbearer.
you,
Who
Conrad?
should be up front?
With my
Guy with
torch?
a torch. All right.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll rush forward.
Okay,
no problem
Conrad
there.
is the first guy to go forward, and who is our second guy?
And do so we're beating the dog, or do we have the option to sort of, to
Power.
subdue the dog so
Yeah,
that we could turn into a pet? It'd be
No,
very
we
utilitarian.
do not have the option that we can create a new wild dog for ourselves, but we can say that we're just chasing it out and up the stairs behind us.
Okay.
If you were less inclined, and which I
No. I was only worried about a pet. So if it can't
no,
be my
no.
pet,
If there's no gain from it, then yes, you can go ahead and because dog meat is a silver penny on the market. I'm hearing no, the dead carcasses are not worth anything to you. Conrad, who is right behind you, Conrad? You may decide.
Torchman Red.
All right, thank you. And I will say right behind me is the holy man, Greg. And then,
All right.
Rusty, I'm going to make you take up the rear if you do not mind too much. Is that,
Not at
are we
all.
agreed? Okay.
The hidden thief that's going to backstab the last guy. I guess
Conrad
that's
hits
me.
the thing. It doesn't seem to respond too much to it. I try to burn it with the torch. It seems to be immune to fire. Greg comes in with a holy
Illusion.
thing. It seems to cower a little bit. And then Rusty comes in to try to do the finishing blow. In this battle, only the last person will make a roll. And Rusty, you can decide now, knowing that Conrad attacked with his hammer, and he seems like he got a good blow on it, but it did not kill it. So this is not a normal dog. This is a monster of some sort. And I tried to burn it, but it was immune to fire. And Greg tried to use his holy mace on it, but once again, it was not enough. Maybe it was a little bit fatigued by it, but not. Now, Rusty, you have to use one of the 6 aspects. I would not suggest restoration because it does triple damage on the fail, but you can try to hit it again with your weapon. You can try. You could use your any of your utility items to try to keep us safe. You can try to use magic.
A little flask of oil light magic would work.
Okay, so and this would be something you use maybe to distract it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Draw it off.
Little flame just between us and him.
Yeah,
barrier.
a little thing that's shaped like a rat or a mouse. I like it. Okay, so what is your powers in light magic? Are you good or poor? Poor, correct?
I'm poor. Everything I have is poor. So I'm not lucky like Greg and Conrad.
Yes, but you are envious. Can you give me a roll of a D20, please, Rusty?
And I made it because I'm plus 4.
And you made it. So the animal is going to be chased away, which is perfect. And we have resolved this. Now we notice that on the way out, that the saliva it was dripping when it finally jumped up and started snarling at us, that the saliva was a little bit of a burning caustic sensation. So whatever is driving these dogs, they are one, not just normal dogs, and two, they have a bite which dissolves like acid.
Yikes.
All right, that said, now we can leave. We do have 4 silver pennies, and if we find a merchant, we can pick up 4 more items for the group. Or we can continue to explore, because none of us have lost. Well, I lost dark magic ability, but none of us really are seriously hurt with hit points yet.
Oh, by the way, I did a light magic successfully, so somebody get a hit point back.
I would like to take one back, Rusty. Thank you for you guys are terrific with your memory, and that's what we need. All right, Conrad, are we going toward I, or are we fleeing with all haste?
Boy, in for a penny, in for a pound is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
One shoelace is not enough.
Now, I did not.
We get to listen at the door at I.
You most certainly can. You can do all the typical Gygax tricks. Now, here's the deal on this dungeon. I did not write an encounter for everything in here, and if we hit a letter, I'm saying L, it may be L, may not be L, where I don't have something written, we go to the event deck and you get a generic dungeon style event. It could be another party wandering through. It could be something unexpected. It could be something terrible. These are the same events like we saw in the city. So it could be a barricade. It could be an obstacle. It could be a detour. It could be an unexpected a dead end, etc. But if I have something detailed, it is related to puzzles. So I'm putting most of the information on what we find in the chat, but don't take it for granted that if I tell you something was orange, for instance, that orange is just, thrown out there for no reason. That said, let's go to I. Now, you can either break down this door or decide that you want to try to open it so that later you can secure it again behind you. So I will let the party decide as a whole. Conrad, do you think we should break this door down, or do you think we should secure it, keep it intact as much as possible?
I think we should keep it intact.
Okay, and Greg?
Keep it intact as well.
Okay, we're going to need a way of prying it open.
I'm in intact also, if we can.
Okay, so how are we gonna get this door open? I mean, there's magic can heal a lot of wounds. I'll agree with that. Or you can also then try to use some utility. We don't have the best utility things, but for instance,
a mallet and stakes would stake it open. So.
Yeah, and well, the mallet and stakes can also use as a wedge to knock it open too, right, Rusty? Yeah.
And I gave that to Greg. So.
Okay, Greg, would you like to try?
Red. I gave it to Red. Excuse me. Red, you have it.
I got mallet.
Give it back to me, and then I would use it to roll the utility of it, because I have a +4 for the utility.
No, I can make a roll of utility. It's a roll of an 11, right?
Right, but for me, it's
if I miss, I break it. All right. What you're saying is, Rusty, hand me my mallet and stakes, lad, and I will hand you the mallet and stakes, like a good lad. And go ahead and try your roll, Rusty.
All right. Because even though it is me rolling. Made it.
Okay.
2 8s in a row.
We have knocked open the door, and at our leisure, we can resecure it if we wish. Now that we're on the other side of the door, do we want to seal it in case the dog comes back? It will make it harder for us to flee.
I think we should seal it.
Seal it as we just re-shut it, right?
Yeah, that way we don't want to be attacked from behind would be our Gygaxian logic.
Yeah.
So we want to not just seal the door, we want to make sure that the door is harder to open and we'll hear somebody entering behind us.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just put a couple of letters out here as utility letters.
Are we also assuming that we're going to exit by another, like L, there's these stairs here? Does that mean that there's an exit from the dungeon there?
Or the map might be going down.
The map is sort of the map in the sense that, I know it's a stupid thing to say. But yes, if we can get to the stairs at L, we can bypass all of the other stuff that's going on, provided those stairs at L actually exist. When you get to L, I might say that the graphic might tell you in this case there is nothing at L.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna.
But this is a dungeon below the city, so it may make sense that there's entrances to various businesses and such.
Yeah.
And of course, we would have known this already because we grew up in the city, right?
Those are all good ideas, and my guess is that when we get to L,
the dice.
You're gonna have dice are dice, and when you get to L, you'll have a better idea.
Yeah.
That was really not the. Should have made these much bigger. Let me redo this while I got a moment and make these 20 point. That's going to be much better. All right. I'm putting an X on this door, meaning that it's secure. And I will move the big die. I'm going to let Greg decide. Greg, you see the party is at I. Would you like to fully investigate the room F, or would you like to avoid G and go right to J, or how would you like to play this?
We got to investigate. Let's go check out F.
Okay, check out F. Got to flip a card. The room F, we find a lost soul. Now, the lost souls tend to be somebody that could reward us for letting us help him escape, but we're not that deep in the underworld. This could be some sort of insane individual. What is the lost soul that we met, Greg? I'll help define it with you. But what do you think it is? Do you think it is someone benign or somebody angry?
Benign. It's the baker for the pie shop. He's trying to get out, but somebody spiked the doors that I closed.
Very good. It's wonderful. And so he's being held captive. And so the generalities of the encounter is a Q. God, I'm a queen. God, I wish we would stop flipping face cards here. I did shuffle that deck. And the queen says we need to make a weaponry to get him loose, or a magic to get him loose. There's probably some sort of invisible type of spirit that's keeping him held to the floor. He's not locked there. And the club means we have to add a utility. So how do we break the chains? If we heat up the manacles, they'll expand. Well, that would work, but probably not.
He's a baker. He's used to handling hot things.
It's true.
Well, you use the flask of oil to oil his hands, his
soak it all and put it in a vat of water.
Slip the cuffs off.
And the oil to get the cuffs off, but we also have to make a weaponry or magic to defeat the entity that's keeping him secure, and then we have to add a utility to get him free. Go ahead and make your utility roll, Rusty, to get the guy off. Slip his hands out first, and that way he could be kept alive for the moment. And then we'll roll the weaponry or the magic to dispel the creature that's going to try to drag him back.
And I didn't get the cuffs off.
You did not get the cuffs off. Now, that's not a roll until fail. So you do get the cuffs off, but you end up...
You get the cuffs off, Rusty, but you take damage, right?
You take damage. And because you failed a utility, it's an auto-fail decline in quality.
Right. Okay.
So something you carry has declined in quality, or something.
Yeah, basically, my flask of oil used up all of its oil, but it's still good for light magic. So.
Okay, very good. Yeah, the residual anointments, and we have we go to weaponry or magic. Who can put this sort of unseen servant who's holding this guy, in a bear hug? How can we get him off of him?
I can use my holy mace to drive him off with weaponry.
Go ahead, roll.
I was going to say, Greg, why don't I use dark magic, because if I should lose it, it'll be back next week.
Okay.
And I'm +4 on it. So so I have the lodestone of 4 magic quality, which means I need 11 + 4 is a 7. And I rolled the 7. Success.
7 is a success. Okay, it's close enough to the time that we'll go ahead and we'll take a 1-minute break again for me. And I will see you all in 60 seconds. I'm just going to walk outside. No stinking reward. Maybe this guy will reward us. Roll a D4, Rusty.
Roll a D4, huh?
Yeah.
1.
Rusty, he gives you a shilling. Put a silver penny in your pocket.
But now it does say, well, single roll all, and on the card loss roll it says test all durable.
He's outside.
Right.
So you can repeat that.
I missed the first part of the conversation where Red no doubt gave an update. So he's generally feeling better, except for, or he's on medication for the vertigo, right?
Yeah, the anti-dizzy pills.
Okay. If he stops taking the anti-dizzy pills, does he go right back to vertigo again?
I don't think he's
He
tested
didn't say.
that.
Okay, back with you. And back in F, we have defeated this lost soul and rescued this guy and rewarded with a silver penny. Well, silver penny's a silver penny. From here, I move the big die over to Rusty. Rusty, did you want to investigate G and be a completionist, or did you want to head right into J? Right now, we don't really have any clear objective that we need at the moment.
I think we definitely want to check out the G.
Okay, take a look.
That should be a nice cabinet in the corner, full of gold. Because everybody leaves a gold in cabinets, so independent.
There's a dead body, headless and scorched. D4 silver, Rusty. Roll a D4.
Oh, come on, Rusty. You can roll 4. Can't you? 3. That's better.
3. Okay. I will take 1. Greg will take 1. Conrad will take 1. I think would work.
Sounds good. We all have 2.
And I have an extra one because I played a few rounds of events before we started. But yes, we are all equally impoverished, although that money is good. And a random piece of gear with a flare. I'll let Conrad roll a random piece of gear. Conrad, give me a percentile dice, please.
Oh, we haven't seen the flare yet, right?
Yeah.
Be right with you here. Going to push the button.
That's fun. Push
the button. There it is. 71.
71.
That dead body has shoes, Conrad.
Nope. Barefoot sandals.
Shoes.
71. Another stinking steel mirror. Those are very popular, it seems like. But it does have a flare. So if I can get back to this. I would make it shoes that have dark magic, but ruby slippers, these are not. Flares, Greg, give me percentile dice, please.
53. Right in the middle.
All right, now this mirror probably has various ornamentation on it. And it will be a poor dark magic mirror, +1, but it's +1. It also bestows +1 to rolls of luck, pip for the party. That's nice. If the item has more than +4 combined pips, it drops in durability. But no. So it is both a steel mirror that people can use for poor dark magic, but it also adds +1 luck for the entire party. Who gets it? Greg is sort of our spiritual guy.
Okay, well, if I get that, I have a steel mirror. I could give that to somebody else then.
I'll take it because I don't have a dark magic item.
So,
okay, so
everybody else have a dark magic item?
I have a dark magic. I have a steel mirror as well. So Rusty gets Greg's steel mirror. Greg picks up the steel mirror since he's also level 13 in essence by point total. And now Greg, everyone is +1 luck in the party. You should remind us whenever we make luck rolls. We'll put you in charge of that. Now, if other things happen where an item, for instance, gets +4 weaponry added to it, and it happened to be that steel mirror, if it goes above +4 in total pips, it disappears. And this will become more important as we start combining magic items together or get later in the game, and the amount of slots we have becomes more important. Can you carry everything that you have on you now still?
I have less than I started with, so I have 4, yes.
Sounds good. Okay. And we then are going to go on to Jay, right? Let me get a slash here. That'd be good too. Doesn't look like there's any way to avoid Jay. A J is some sort of deadfall trap with a tripwire, mostly an observational thing to avoid. First to cross rolls luck, morale. That would be you, Conrad.
I do not have a luck item.
You have taken a point of damage, sir.
But you are +1 to that non-existent roll. Just
yes.
Maybe I should either go in front or I should give you my, well, if I give you my torch, I don't have a way to fight. So no, I can't do that yet. I think you took a point of damage, unfortunately, Conrad.
Yeah, no worries. Does anybody have an extra luck item by chance?
I have a dark magic black mirror and a luck roll weapon torch. So no is my answer.
No, for me, I only have the torch.
Oh, I also picked up Rusty's mallet and stakes for utility.
I don't have a dark luck item.
So it looks like we're just out of luck. So lesson learned, though, is whoever our lead person is should have one of everything, right?
Probably.
Yeah,
or
when that time comes, right?
Possible. Oh, okay.
If you wish, Conrad, I can give you my...
lead. Because I have
you were saying, Rusty?
I could lead because I have almost everything, I think. Yeah.
Does anyone have a second weapon that could pass the red?
Not yet, but Rusty's going to take over the front.
Okay, fair enough.
And Conrad, you're going to take over the rear.
I'll have to take the utility back from red because I lost the utility on my flask of oil.
It was pretty heavy anyway, Rusty, so I didn't really like carrying it.
My mallet and stakes are back.
Okay. Rusty has a number of things that he is and is taking over the front position, followed by Red, followed by Greg, followed by Conrad in the rear, or attacked in the rear. Make a luck roll, Conrad. No. Where to from here? Move to Conrad. Conrad, you can go toward M or N.
And we were of the opinion that we couldn't avoid M, so let's go to M.
Yeah, the logic is that we want to get to L and find out where this thing might be heading, if anywhere. And so we go to M. And we find a purse with the initials JJ. The purse has seven silver pennies in it. Keep it as a one item for the moment, Conrad. And
okay. Does it have any abilities to it, or is it just a 7 silver pennies?
Nope, just a purse with 7 silver pennies. And what I mean by keep it together is that there may be a JJ somewhere you want to return that purse to for a extra reward, or to move the campaign forward, or it may just be something that you're going to take 7 silver pennies and you're going to reward yourself one day with it. But that is an object that we should not divide at the moment. And we go into L, I would assume. Greg, is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, the room here is well traveled. There's large bulk items have been dragged across the floor. A large stone in the corner. And there is not apparently a stair down, but we sort of get the impression from the scrape marks that somebody has moved items, mostly from this spot in front of where we think the stairs should be, over toward this door.
So it's a
But
hidden
right
door.
now it's closed. Put a circle in front of that saying that maybe it's blocked by something. And we are, what would you like to do? Would you like to move on? Would you like to investigate further any of the things I said?
Let's investigate this blocked area. Let's see if we could move things out of the way.
Okay, we do a preliminary check, and it seems rather solid. It almost seems like it's locked mechanically, that until we do something else,
Right.
Pull the proverbial lever.
Release the catch in the other room, right?
Yes, then until we do something that's going to unlock it, we would have to obliterate it. And even by obliterating it, I think that would probably defeat the whole challenge here. So there's a way to open that. Just does not seem to be in this room.
Yikes.
You said the on the floor it looks like things were dragged to where?
So
Damn.
the room is well traveled. Large bulk items have been dragged across the room from the stairwell position through the door M.
Maybe let's go check out M and then, or go that direction, check out N.
Okay. If you're following drag marks, they would head more toward J. But they get fainter, as if the room around M was used more as a preparation room to break down bigger objects into smaller objects.
Right, okay. That means they'd be going out that direction, so.
Look for footprints instead of shoe prints.
There's probably, you'll probably find some footprints of men who have moved through the area, moving the bulk items. And you may or may not recall that in the shop itself, the floor was not very dusty. It was well traveled, even though the shop itself has not been reused. So you have found how the smugglers are moving contraband into Winesaught, but you cannot move the object at O at the moment.
I'm sorry, what was the object at O?
It's like, let's call it a stone tablet, large stone door that's mechanically locked.
O looks so I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong O. You've got an O by the stairs and an O room.
Correct.
So you mean O by the stairs.
I mean 0.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Omega.
Yeah.
So we don't know how to open up the door to O, right? We didn't see anything in the room M.
Correct.
We
did not get down our light all the way down to N yet.
Okay. So my guess is that the lever that opens the door is going to be close. So it's either in K or N.
Right.
So you want to go back and check N?
I would guess
I don't know
K.
what we need to vote. What's that? Well, I mean, we already know how to get to N, right?
Who would like to make a luck roll?
I cannot make the luck roll.
Okay. And so we wouldn't want Conrad to try to make a luck roll unless he says, I make the luck roll, I failed it, and so.
Well, I can make the luck roll.
In some cases, you might want to just say, I fail the roll rather than having to roll on durability and lose an object. But yeah, Rusty, did you want to try to make a luck roll?
Yeah, with my torch.
Okay. you're gonna add some more light to everything. Go ahead and give me a roll,
plus
please.
Plus one because of the mirror I have.
Oh,
yep. It doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Okay,
All
let's see if I keep the torch for durability.
Anything but a 1.
Okay, I took a point of damage.
All right, I have a torch as well. Let me roll my torch. When I see what Rusty is doing. Now I need
his failed luck roll give us a death mod. Isn't that the effect of failing luck rolls?
Correct.
He still has to roll the durability though, right?
He did, yes. And the failed luck roll means that we're at -1 for the next D4 actions. And so, unfortunately, when Rusty failed, I needed an 11. I plus
12.
1 for. I'm
Yeah,
plus
12.
1 because of the mirror
Death
of
mod.
Greg's, but I'm -1 because of the death mod. And I do not have any bonus in luck. So I failed too. So now we're at -2 for 2 events.
My thing only lasted 1 event, or you said a D4 event, right?
For the next D4 events, yes. How many are we at, Rusty?
1.
1.
For me.
Okay. So Rusty, I'm going to have to make a little chart here. In A, B, C, and D, how long would my bad luck last? 4.
You rolled a 4.
Okay, so in Rusty, we're at -2, then we go to -1, -1, -1, and -1 before we eliminate the bad fate that the gods have bestowed upon our group. With
Luck
much
is imaginary,
apologies,
guys.
I would have to test to see if my torch loses its luck and morale ability. And with a D20 of a 4,
No.
+1.
a +1 becomes a 5, and yes, I made the durability roll, so I still have my torch, which is good. But
And -1, but it still make it.
from here, neither of us made a luck roll in room L. And let me do this. No luck. This is where
Point of order on my rolling the durability, is that use up the 1 time that I had for bad luck?
No. What I mean by an event, Rusty, is going to be either 5 in the case of where it becomes -1. For the next 5 rooms, we're going to have some sort of death mod.
Okay, all right. Okay.
5
so
letters.
It doesn't apply to the durability rolls at all?
Well, it does apply to the durability roll. You were a -1 when you rolled your durability and +1 for Greg's mirror. Did you still lose your item or not lose your item?
No, I got a 13. So
Yeah.
you're
+4 anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm at -2. And +1. Did I lose my luck with a 4? Yes, you're right, Rusty. We have our first item that I have lost my.
No, you lost the
luck
utility
aspect
part,
of my torch.
the luck part of your torch.
I lost the luck part of my torch. My torch is now does not comfort.
Just a weapon.
Yep,
It's
just a
the
weapon. I'll get a better weapon. And we are then no luck from this room. And where would you like to go from here? Big Die. Big Die is over to Greg. Yeah, I think Big Die is on Greg because Conrad moved us into L.
Let's go over to K. Let's check that out. We got to find the things that opens the door at Omega there.
K.
So did we finish N?
We did not finish N. We have not been to N. K is card flip.
Well, what were we rolling for?
We're observing something in the room.
Yes.
Which we failed,
Conrad is
Rusty.
correct. We failed twice to observe something in the room.
If there was something in the room, we didn't find it.
Oh,
we can try again, I guess, next week or when we run out of options. There's another. Is this deck just all face cards? Yep. Here comes our knave, Rusty.
I think we saw an ace. There's a 2, 3, queen, king.
And I'm just. You guys can move the deck too, which is good.
Half face cards.
And Jack, tree or
whatever
restoration.
Reason, I don't see any of the face cards. Let me do a refresh.
You don't see any of the cards, huh?
They're above they're in the center of the map,
but,
Rusty. You might not be scrolled to it.
Can
you see where it is? It's
everywhere?
here.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
Can you see the true monster?
No, I see it. Yeah, now I see it. Okay.
All right, K is a true monster. So this would be
Thanks, Greg.
almost yes. It would almost be like a beast that was either the one that spawned the caustic dogs or our hellhounds, or the hellhounds gated this thing in, or even they might be afraid of it. We need weaponry or restoration, a single roll by all, ugly, and we have to add utility to that. So we have to make two. We have to make a utility roll and either a weapon or restoration, each of us, in order to fight the true monster. And those tests are all at -3. I will start with my rolls.
But at least he has a D4 silver.
Yes, at least he has a default. It's to me, if I lose 4 or 5 hit points to get a D4 silver right now, that's probably pretty good. Here comes my D20, and I rolled. I needed an 11, but I'm +4, -3, up 1. I made my weaponry roll. Now weaponry are roll until success, and I need to make the
Why
utility
are you up 1,
roll.
Red?
What's that?
Are you +1 across the board?
I'm +4 in weaponry, but we're -2 at this encounter, right?
3.
So I'm only +2, which is a 12. I still make the roll with the 12.
Is the true monster at -3 in addition?
But because of the -3, I missed that roll. So I need. Let's see if I can figure this out. 11 -3 +4. Down 2 is a total of -1. I need to
Why are you down 2 and you're only down 1? Because mine expired.
No, yours expires in K, Rusty. K is the first event we've had.
You're -4 because of luck. I'm sorry, the monster's -3.
Yes.
You're -3 because of luck. So you're -6.
So
no,
okay,
I'm
so
not -3 because of luck. But
so I don't understand what you were rolling for in in the room after M when we went through through M again.
So we went into L.
Right.
We found out that the stairs down are blocked by some sort of mechanism slab of concrete. We started to leave, and I made a luck roll for you, Rusty, to see if you noticed what we missed. And then I made a luck roll for me to see if we noticed what we missed.
All right.
And then I marked room L. No luck.
But you, Red, you took the penalty in room L. So you've had your one room, by the way, right?
Well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You took my penalty in room L by rolling your luck again.
All right, I will agree with that.
Yeah.
You're making it more complicated on me.
No. But I mean, he rolled a 1,
but
so basically you.
But it does keep me alive, so I will respect that. I need to make a utility roll, but I do not have a utility ability, so I'm just going to take a point of damage because of no utility. But unfortunately, by failing a utility roll, something of the group was going to have to decline, but that's collectively of us. So I just for all of us, after we all make our rolls in K, something is going to decline. Would make sense anyway against the big monster that's the mother of all the other monsters. I move to Rusty. Rusty, you need to make either a restoration roll or a weaponry roll.
Right. And if I fail in the weaponry roll, I have to keep rolling until I actually make it, right?
Correct.
Okay. Or if I fail the restoration, I take triple damage.
That is correct.
Right. And what happens if I make the restoration? Nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
No help for anybody or anything like that.
No negatives.
But no positives.
No positives either. No.
Okay. So all right. So I'll roll my my torch until I make it.
Your torch is your weaponry. Okay.
And let's see. That's a 10. Let's see. And I have to make it 11, so that's a fail. -3. -1.
Just -1 hit point, but you have to roll it again.
The monster's -3.
Okay, so that's the monster's damage. That's 2 points of damage.
That is correct.
11, that makes it. Okay.
11 is a +1, -1 for the room for our bad luck, and we have a total of you would need an 11 overall in order to get it, and you've made it, but you took 2 points of damage. And
Yes.
we move on to Conrad, please. Would you like to? Your utility roll.
I have to roll my utility now, right?
Yep.
And I make the +4 is a 13, -1, but this is -3 for the monster still.
Correct. All tests.
Okay, so the poor, and so I take another point of damage.
So you failed that roll too, but we still have to have one thing decline, but you need to test your durability on your item.
On the weapon.
Yes, because you failed the weapon. Please test it once.
Made it.
Okay. And what did you fail with on the utility?
The mallet stakes.
You'll need to test its durability.
I just did. It works.
Okay. And on the mallet and the stakes that you failed with utility,
well, eventually we'll lose the mallets and stakes at the end. But anyway.
Correct. But what did you do with the mallet and stakes against the monster? Did you pin its feet to the ground? What did you try to?
No, I malleted it up on the wall and climbed the stakes to get away from the monster. He's a snake-like monster. He can't get me when I'm high up.
Sounds good. Sounds perfect. And we go on to Conrad. Conrad, you need to make either a weaponry or a restoration roll.
Okay, so I have a good weapon, which means I need an 8. The monster gives me -3, which means an 11.
Yep.
I'm +4, so I need the 7. Am I suffering from the luck from you?
Yes, -1. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I need an 8. Am I suffering from Rusty's luck, or was that only the first room?
We said that was only in
no luck room.
only in
okay,
L.
so it's so I need an 8 to hit to not suffer damage on my weapon. So I rolled the dice, and I can't see, did it come out?
I don't think so.
I don't see it. So let me try it again.
Not yet.
Do you see it yourself?
There it is, a 16.
There's a 16.
Gimpo the Gray rolled a 16, so I did not fail with my weapon.
You didn't. You were successful with your weapon. You've pounded the true monster of the snake.
And now you need to make a utility roll.
Okay, so I have a poor utility weapon, so my base is an 11. With the monster, it becomes a 14. With the luck, it becomes a 15. So I need a 15, or I suffer a durability loss and a point of damage.
Correct.
And I rolled a 6, which is a fail. I don't need to roll durability loss because we have the item is reduced by 1.
Well, if you fail, let's see, a fail and auto decline quality of this or something else we carry. That's of the group we've determined. Well, something else carried. Gosh, now.
So we're going to lose 4 items.
I'm going to rewrite that. That's too confusing. All right. So I'm gonna make something else to deal with the. So Rusty, just roll your utility, whether or not it's durable of a 1 has failed, and Conrad, re-roll your durable of your mace of your hammer.
I already rolled it. I rolled an 8.
Thank you. And so Conrad, roll me a durability of 4. Is it? Do you have any modifiers on that?
No, not for durability.
And -1 is 5. You need a 5 or better in order to keep your mace still
7.
having. Okay, terrific. Okay, and now we're going to go over to Greg. Greg, did you want to make a weaponry roll or a restoration roll?
Weaponry, definitely.
Okay.
Seeing that I have, no, I do have a restoration, but it's still a worse roll. So weaponry, basically it's good. So I need a 8, +4, and -4 for our modifier. So I just need a straight 8. A 10. So made that.
Great. Now you need a utility roll.
Utility. So I'm going to be having to use the flask of oil, and I just need a straight 11. Once again, +4 and -4.
Lighting up the room.
18. Yes.
Okay. And D4 silver. Go ahead and roll that D4 silver, Greg, for us killing the true monster. Now you took some teeth, Conrad.
3.
3. Why don't you each take one, and I will forego the silver this time.
We should have 4, correct?
I have 3, but I missed a round, so.
I thought it was 3. I mean, this just from what I've been doing, that would have 3 to me.
3 it is.
3 it is. Okay. And
I think I picked up one. I picked up one when we rolled a 1.
I have on the silver. I have 3. Okay.
3. We each have 3.
I think I picked up an extra one on the first.
I think
encounter.
You picked up 1, yeah, because the guy might have.
Yeah, that's why
I
I'm
told
thinking
you,
it's
and
4.
you have the purse of 7 if we decide not to return
Correct.
that, JJ. And so from K, you can go in many directions here. And what would you like to do, guys?
So Red, your luck is bad for how many rounds?
That would be
rooms?
now we just crossed off again, so we have another 3 more rolls. I have 3 more rolls.
Okay, so Red, did your luck not start in room L, or because nobody rolled after you, room L was not part of the?
I crossed it off, Conrad. So okay, I'll give you that. So we only have 2 more rooms after K.
Okay, so let's go back to N and get that
And that's
done.
another
here.
one that's hard to implement. So I might change the flare on luck.
Yeah. I'd make it a count of rolls rather than a count of rooms.
Yes. Okay, that would be good too. Yeah.
And so let's go back to N and get that done here, guys.
Okay, let's go back to N. Rusty, I'll give you a second chance of luck in that room L.
Woohoo!
Let's see. Okay. I can't. I'm in the wrong place. What they roll?
And again, we're going to flare that. We're going to take
3.
We're going to take away that penalty. I'm going to rewrite it into something else. And unfortunately, you're. Okay. So no luck for Rusty. Let's go to N after I take a minute break. And let me read it to see if it is a random flip. It's going to be a random flip, guys.
I have to roll to see if my torch survives.
Yes.
Okay, got it. And it does.
Okay.
Barely.
Back in 60.
I've had an unusually not large number of bad rolls, which is pretty typical for me.
If we're going to roll every time we go through that no luck room, we're going to eventually get it, or we're going to kill Rusty because you take a point of damage for the missed roll too.
Yes,
Rusty,
I
right?
do. I took a point of damage. I've got. Let's see. I'm down 5 now. So.
All right, I am back with you all.
You're here.
And we are now at N, and N is random, so there's nothing special about N in relation to the lock in the center. And I would say that would be too easy. So let's see what's at N. A carved warning. That's sort of ominous.
A reward of stop harm.
And a 5. So let's do the 5 first. 5 is going to take weaponry or luck as a group. Yes, finally some group rolls. And because it's a heart, I add nothing to it. So we need to either make a weaponry roll or a luck roll in order to mitigate the carved warning. As a party, how would we like to do that?
Well, I can roll luck, but I need a 7 or better.
I think we'd rather roll the weaponry, wouldn't we, Rusty?
Yeah, the weaponry is a lot better.
Weaponry is going to be a better roll, probably, if somebody has weaponry skills.
So probably part of the carved warning had a curse that we need to obliterate with our weapon.
I'll take my hammer and smash it.
Okay.
My roll is an 8. It's a -2 because of the light. Or no, magic is -2. Or what is the carved warning there?
The card warning is light magic would be -2, not weaponry. So it does not apply.
So 8, and then your negative penalty because of luck is a 9.
Yep.
Correct. And then I'm +4, so I need a 5 to smash.
Let's eliminate the negative penalty. I will look at the different aspects of these, as I said, in the off week.
Okay, so
I might even leave it just damage. And so you have made the roll or missed the roll?
I have not rolled yet, so I'm rolling the 4. And I rolled the 1, which means I take a point of damage.
And test your durability.
I have to roll test for durability. So my durability on my good weapon is a 9 or better. +4 is a 5 or better. And I rolled a 15, so the weapon did not decline in damage. Now, do I need to roll again? Because sometimes I need to roll again for the. It says quite often roll until success.
Weaponry is roll till success. Yes, go ahead and.
Well, it said quite often rolls for success, not
correct.
Not.
Yeah, in this case, no, there's no monster involved with it, so I will agree that it's not quite often. It's just roll for success. It's you took your point of damage, and investigating the carved warning, you probably just hurt your hand momentarily, and we picked up a stop harm. Now, a stop harm has. Almost no limitations. We can cancel a card with that. We can prevent rooms. What the mulligan card does, let me read the difference between these two.
Sorry, does that stop harm have to be used this session?
Yes.
Because we reset everything.
I use it now.
Same as the mulligans. And stop 1 point harm? I think
he said session, so we
we got 15 minutes left.
We got 15 minutes left. So.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Then we don't need to roll. We don't need to use it now. We'll wait for the TPK, right?
Yeah. Yes. All right. Mulligan allows 2 attempts of any test for every player in the event. It may instead be used to change the playing card of the event. And stop harm voids all damage taken, stops all gear decline, and lets any event pass harmlessly without subsequently, but also with no gain. So if we want the gain, we cannot use the stop harm. And we go on to there was with the light magic again, no light magic. I should say with the carved warning. We found that somebody actually this is not an original carved warning. This is like somebody made a tracing of some other warning or cryptic symbol and then tried to etch it themselves in that room as if they were trying to get it closer to the no luck room, which we're going to think no one can make a luck roll in. What would you like to do next? Rusty, where would you like to go from here? I skipped you, Greg. I apologize.
No worries.
Well, I think we go into P and see if we can get into O eventually.
Okay, let's get into P. This is where things get a little bit complicated. All right. This room looks more ancient than the rest. The north wall has a vault that was sealed. All right, that's into O. Yet the material can be taken down easily to reveal, in this case, just another random card flip because it's not anything integral. The rest of the room houses 8 pillars with scrawling etchings of silver inlaid letters in a lost and forgotten thieves' cant. It is not advisable to try to chip out the silver even after you solve the puzzles. You will feel they need to be kept there for generations to come, or at least something to jog your memory. For each of these riddles, whoever solves, or I should say if your group solves 5 of the 8 riddles, you will gain an XP at random, somebody. There are a number of... you find out just a little bit later that these columns mirror the columns in room B. You can see that on the map. And the instructions say that you sort of need to investigate room B next to get the full idea of what you need to do. But the thieves can't. I'm going to cut and paste this. right into the chat, and do not expect that you're going to solve all of these in the next 10 minutes. Do we say you're up, Greg?
That's wait, okay. Okay.
So let's take the first one. Top row, first column. I'm counting that right here. And it says...
Not even, not odd.
Not even, not odd. All right.
Okay. Could be
what does that mean to anyone?
0.
It could be an imaginary 1.
Could be a 0, yeah.
0, I
thought 0 is, well, I guess 0 isn't an even, so yeah, 0. Okay, so the 0. Woman with 2 daughters, and each daughter has a brother. Okay, well.
All right, so are we agreed that it seems like each of these appears to be a number? The answer to each of these riddles or sayings appears to be a number. So now we need to move over to room B for a second, which is the natural progression of things. And when you move to B, let me read the explanation of B. You're going to hate this. This room has been repaired and maintained to almost pristine condition. The 8 columns spin clockwise. Doing so will cause them, the more you spin them, the harder they become. Yet, for instance, if you spin the first one and then compare it to spinning the 6th one, it seems like the 6th one may be just a little bit harder to spin than the first one. And as you spin the columns, when you release the column, it will rapidly rotate counterclockwise and stop hard back at its original position. As you rotate the columns, there will be a sound of unnatural dog barks as you do so. And also, there's a sound of scraping in the room to the east. So you have 8 columns of a very ancient order in room P, and each of those columns is scribed with a riddle or a short expression that ends that is resolved as a number. And then in room B, you have 8 columns that are not necessarily as ancient, but were repaired over the years and kept in rather pristine condition. And as you rotate those columns, you can start to hear a little bit of rumbling over in this position.
And then they go back like a dial telephone.
Correct. Good analogy, Greg.
Yeah, it wouldn't work on a Gen Zer.
Now, if you want to, but who is the Gen Zer here that plays these games? If you want to do some tests in the next 5-10 minutes, you can do so. I doubt you're going to randomly figure out whatever code is going on. And no matter what you do, you're going to get a helper. Because
right, so we want to use our stop harm so we can do the puzzle next week.
Okay, so you want to use your stop harm. So why don't you go into, I don't know, room T? Room O?
Just wondering, well, that's what I was going to ask. Room O looks like there's no passage to room O right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now, that's where the columns will get you. When you solve the column puzzles, you get into room O. And
that
room
is incorrect,
A.
Rusty.
Are you sure? The column puzzle, it says there's like, we hear rumbling to the east. I'd assume that was the stone slab over here.
It actually is not. It's a stone slab over in here.
Oh, okay.
Which is odd. But the north wall of room P has been sealed, yet the material can be taken down easily to reveal a card flip. So, Rusty, this blank area is fill material you can drag out of the way.
Okay,
but then you get a random card at O.
Okay.
I would not assume that Q, W, and A are random cards. But if you wanted to use the stop harm in the next 5 minutes,
I would say either O or Q, then.
Or use O right now if you wish, because you know it's a random card flip.
Okay, we can do O.
Okay, let me flip the card and see if we get any reward from it. It's not going to have any money involved with it. It's a weird statue. And the card is a 6. 6.
Six is terrible in this game.
Sort of, not terrible. 10s are the best. You're gonna love 10s when you finally get one. Restoration or luck group roll, and light magic. Would anyone doing light magic, any light magic object that you use in this event? We don't need to use any of in this event, but if we did, they would all test durable. So in order to come into this area and solve the weird statue for no real benefit, you would have to roll either a restoration or luck. You might as well just use the stop harm and then eliminate the room as a.
And we get no benefit that we can see from the weird statue?
No, you just go ahead and look and see that there was a weird statue in O, and it didn't have any sort of, maybe that just was giving the people in room P an evil eye. Hazard a guess, guys, and just give me a explanation of how you think P and B 8-column rooms are related.
Well, P tells us how much to rotate each of those columns.
That is correct.
In order, and then like if we do it correctly, something's grinding. Perhaps it opens the door to this room over here.
Doesn't open the door, but did you want to enter into room D right now and take a peek?
Sure. Looks like we can. Yeah.
Okay. In D, the floor here is about the dry fountain is scraped. Gash tile and a groove of parallel wear toward the north. Spinning the columns in sub B make the fountain rumble under pressure, but the whole does not move but a sliver without a correct sequence of forces. Does that make sense?
We're opening a gate to bring something into the area, right? It's either a prison or
it's more mechanical, Conrad, not actually spiritual. So
well, it could be a prison, right? If you wish.
Yes. Well, if you figure out the code and unlock these columns with the right number of rotations, it probably will be move something out of the way. This heavy fountain. Now you could take some time and try to destroy the fountain and figure out what's underneath it, but that's probably going to attract the overall protectors of this whole thing. I'll call them the smugglers, and that would end your chance of doing this elegantly and gaining an XP from it.
0.
5 minutes.
Just looking at the clues here, some of them seem fairly definite, like top row, 4th column, 5 + 9, right? There's not much interpretation there.
Right.
But right above that, psychic knows gamblers' winnings before any bets. Anybody have any clue about that? Well, it could be 0.
Say that again, Greg. What was the question?
I'm looking at these clues. The clues that's labeled top row, 3rd column, it says psychic knows gamblers' winnings before any bets.
Is it 0, right?
That could be. The first
you haven't made any winning if you haven't made a bet.
Right.
True.
0.
And if it is 0, what does it tell you about the 3rd row, top row, 3rd column?
Don't do anything.
Don't move it.
Okay.
Don't
you guys seem to understand what's going on here.
Okay. Let's see. 5 plus 9. Next one, 4 letters, unchanged after erasing 2.
So that's like it's a spelling, right?
Yeah. And
is it 8 maybe? No, 8's no good.
300-foot snake crawls at, crosses 200-foot tunnel. It's probably how many minutes it takes a snake to completely cross the tunnel.
Did I list this twice? I might have listed this twice by accident. Let me just make sure I didn't.
It says lower row, second and third column.
Yeah. There's one missing. I'll grab it for you.
Lower row, fourth column. Bird count or possibly head count when added or multiplied is the same. Huh? Well, I have 2. 2 plus 2 and 2 times 2 is both 4.
Yeah, the one of the two lower row, second column, etc. That should be the 15 crows. I think the 15 crows in there. I'll fix the actual list of the clues. It isn't like you're going to solve them in the next 1 or 2 minutes, but it sounds like you're going to be able to get a good guess on some of them, and then a poor guess on others, and then you're going to have to make an attempt with it, right?
Yeah.
And with a little trial and error and kajiggering, you're probably going to starting next week. We'll get this puzzle solved and move you on. All right. Yeah. I will do a few things with the mechanics. I may not increase the money reward quite yet, but I probably will increase the flares a little bit because flares are fun. And I may I will definitely change the negative outcome for all of those events. Not the restoration, not the weaponry roll until success, and not the dark magic that turns off, the light magic. Yeah, it's luck. Luck is problematic, and utility is problematic because it doesn't work very well in mechanics. But I'll change those two. All right. Any questions?
Your expertise. We didn't touch the expertise at this point. Is that
which expertise is this? Go ahead.
At the bottom, there was a list on the character sheet. Did I miss it?
So, yeah, here's what expertise represents. If you ever, and I should have been watching this all along, if you ever roll a 20 while you're doing your action to resolve an event, then you become an expert in it and you never have to roll again. So let me look back through the table.
20s, but that was so that was the one thing. So you either are expert or not, right? The other choice would be
it's checked on or off.
That's an award you can give too, right?
Yes, I can definitely give awards, and there's a little bit of that within the flares as well. And so what that would mean is that, for instance, the same card that we just flipped, that's that weird statue. Yeah, weird statue. Weird statue can appear in the city. Weird statue can appear in either of the three. Any of the three underworld type maps, either the above ground, the dungeon map that you're on now, or the cave map. And if I ever flip a card that's weird statue and you have an expertise in weird statue, you don't have to make rolls for that event. And so it's a way of just saying, I get to pass that. And if the event only calls for one person, happens to be you, or the group to make a roll, you can always say that we're going to put the expert on weird statues and move past it. But yeah, that's another good thing to reward, Conrad.
Yeah.
All right.
The other one I would do is clarify when you mean group roll, does that mean everybody in the group rolls, or does only one time
and
for the group?
And I did write that in there. There are three types of roll. There's single roll for the I'll just put the table in the chat, and that way we can just read it. So the tables go ace, ace, 2, and ace and 2 are single rolls, but it's bum luck. It's one person and one person only at random. And then 3, 4, 5, 6 7 and 8 are group rolls, and 9 are group rolls, but the group roll means anyone in the group can try it, and all you need is one person in the group to actually try it. And then 10 is you can say, well, we don't need to ever make a dark magic roll. Anything that requires dark magic, we automatically are successful at when you flip a 10. Or you could say weaponry. We're just going to eliminate weaponry right now. You probably don't eliminate weaponry because most of the time everyone has a weapon.
Yeah.
And then the worst cards to get, of which we had far too many.
Yeah, not a single 10, but lots of face cards.
Jack, Queen, and King means everyone in the group has to make the roll. That's what single roll, group roll, and single roll all mean, Conrad.
Yeah, and I guess what you could do on the face cards, not that we would ever see that many face cards again, wink, wink, was perhaps pick one of the skills, one of the 6 skills that sort of appears more frequently, and then we would all know as we're picking characters. Well, always take a utility roll, right? Or always take utility, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. In other words, one like where you're trying to design your skills, have 2 that are the most common. One of which gives you a penalty, right?
Yes. So do you want to take the one that gives you a benefit or one that gives you a penalty? Yeah. Well, that would be worked into the utility and the luck, which we'll
correct.
We'll
in other words, as you're making your 6 skills, because it's the negative effect that we actually want to play.
In a way,
right?
You're not really making your 6 skills. Going forward, I guess you will, because you're going to be buying things specifically. Like, I want a good weapon, or I want good luck, And as you start getting rewards, one person's going to be more of the magic guy because he's going to end up with 2 good magic items of dark magic.
Well, and basically the rolls are auto success, except rolls are auto success, but maybe you make one of the skills. If you miss this roll, wasn't auto success. Somebody else has to make it for you, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does a little, but I think I might be misinterpreting that. That's almost like
when we're